Dear viewers, welcome back to the second part of my conversation with Sethu Raman, founder CEO of BeWise, who has been through so many transitions in his 35-year-long career. So Sethu, my next question to you is, I noticed that, from the business excellence global role, you moved into a P&L role. Now, I'm sure that a business excellence role, the mindset required in these two different roles. One is support, one is influencing kind of a role, and then a P&L role where you're directly in charge of results delivery. What were your thoughts at this stage, and how quickly were you able to adjust?
Just reflecting back on the previous role before I actually talk about the transition, in that role, it is largely a change management role for the organization. And that meant, yes, the skill sets that you're talking about are very different. It's not, you would see the results today morning, you're going to sell, and you see the outcome next day morning. So it's a longish gestation period. The bigger challenge also was that of stakeholder management. You're working with leadership teams across countries where you're able to work your influence all the way from the chairman of the organization to down to whoever else is implementing whatever and working with them. And the third one, of course, is from a experience point of view, this was about rolling up your sleeve as well, because you work with the various teams. You're showcasing and building the networks to be able to deliver the difference that a business excellence team would deliver. So it was working with each of these teams and showcasing that there is more value they're leaving on the table. Selfishly speaking, I always wanted to be in a regional leadership role ever since I began my career. But it was how to get there. I chose a different path to get there, because that's something that you got to define very clearly most of the times, is how I would see it. Some would just say performance of the current job would get you there, but not all the time that happens. You will need to probably go through a different skill set experience to be able to get to that role so that you're strong on that. So I chose that later part in terms of my route to get there. And that's why the competence of marketing and business development in a different country, a regional influence role, all of that helped me. So this role that we're talking about is the one where Shell was divesting businesses in most of the countries for different reasons. And the brand license was held by a large conglomerate in that country. So this role meant that you're working with those conglomerates. They run your brand and the business in the country, but it's a role of influence to that leadership. So all my past experience was going to be transitioning. This was going to be managing 17 countries. There are not many roles these days in most organizations where you get access to working with 17 different countries in terms of your delivery and results. So it was very exciting for me. And the reason why I picked up, I was probably aiming for this role much before I got the role.
Okay, so you used in this P&L role where you're handling 17 countries. It was kind of a B2B kind of situation where you have to deal with very large conglomerates. And you say that you used the learnings from the business excellence role, using your influence to influence these large entities to get your P&L results. That's what I heard you say. Wonderful. So, and then Sethu, you moved from Shell back to India. You founded this company called BeWise. It's a parent-focused education startup. So what made this happen? The money must have been very good. So this is a huge adjustment for any person at a senior level to make. So what were the thoughts? What were the fears? What propelled you to make this move?
When I look back to it, I worked for about 25 years in Shell itself at the point in time that I decided to change. Like every large corporation, every 4 years you're looking for a role. And I knew my time was up. I'd done this role, the P&L regional role, managing businesses of $400 million and above for about 4 years. And I knew it was time that I had to look for a new job. And you're always asking the question, what is more important to you, the direction or the distance? What do you really want? My purpose was I was asking myself, this is what I want to be doing for the next 25 years when I reflect back. Because it's not like today you wind up your shoes at 50 or 60 and say, I'm done. You'll be doing something. What is it that I want to be putting my energy? I think that was a bigger question. There is also this challenge about the inevitable pyramid that at the end, somebody will always be ahead of you. So do I also want to be in that race and then do that? Or do I want to prove something to myself? Was the key driver. And I was always in the startup space because I've been an angel investor since 2006 as a part of how I built. My ability to take this decision is also financially strong, because once your kitchen is running, your ability to take risks changes. And I was also seeing business models change around me. So I went back to learning. I went back to MIT, made sure I learned about digital businesses. And then it was fascinating to see every time I was trying to solve a problem for my children, what should be taking us 2 weeks was ending up taking 2 months and sometimes 6 months. Because simple decisions, information is not available in the way we are comfortable with it, and everything has to be a long journey. So me and my wife, we've always been talking about it to other parents as well. Everybody, even in advanced countries, faces the same problem.
What options for your children were you looking for when you had these challenges?
Every time you move, let's say even you move a house or you move a city or a country, by the time you get to discovering what's best for your children, is much longer a journey because child's education is the most important anchor point for them. By the time you decide which school you want, what works for you, which tuition center, music center, sports center, the phone a friend option or the search engine option is no longer relevant for a millennial parent. The way you would work it is very different. You're able to buy other things on one screen decisions. Why not for education, which is your biggest decision? And that was the driver. And then when you talk to educational institutions, they tell you that they're very operationally focused. They also need help. They understand changes coming at them, but they just don't know how soon and how fast or what will hit them. They also need help of different sorts. So then me and a few of us as co-founders, we decided that this is a problem we want to get in. And I was ready to take that risk and the leap of faith in my life. So I decided myself that this is time. If I don't take the risk now, I might never take it to the next level.
Okay, so the problem you're trying to solve in BeWise is when somebody moves into a different location, finding the options, whether it is sports, whether it's music, whether it's education, it is getting the information about all the possibilities, all various options at the click of a button. Am I right?
Correct. It's absolutely right. The only addition I would make is it's nothing to do with moving cities. Moving cities is just an example. The child keeps growing. As the child grows, your needs to support the child are different. And across all those support areas, you would have visibility to what you need. And here we are available now in 2 cities, and the objective is to scale it up nationally.
Sure. So Sethu, tell us how's it been for you in BeWise? What are the challenges and how are you going about facing them?
Startup space is very different from how it works in corporates. Corporates have a brand, startups have none. So you are the brand yourself when you start. The red carpet disappears. The kingdom that you have disappears. The salary disappears. So the biggest change I would say is the mindset change. And if you're able to overcome that with thorough discipline and your ability to understand and create value where you promise it, I think the journey is always going to be good. We've now got over 30,000 parents that visit and leverage the portal every month. And this is with zero marketing efforts yet from our end, given we are a bootstrapped organization. So progress has been good. We are able to create tremendous value to educational institutions who work with us. The way I see it is there is a huge potential because the faith that we will make a difference to every parent, one way or the other, on one of the biggest challenges, which is education and preparedness for tomorrow.
Okay, well said. Okay. So, Sethu, 35-year-long journey and so many transitions. And I found you to be very, very well thought through in your decision making. But I'm sure as a person, you may have yourself changed. What are some of those changes that have happened to you? And the part 2 of that is what kind of support did you have within the companies that you worked in or externally, which helped you along the journey?
There have many who have helped me on these opportunities. I've had the privilege to work with some of the best people in the world, given the organization that I was associated with, and many mentors, because every country share, every managing director of a country was somebody who was a part of the larger team, as a part of the leadership team when we were working. I have learned so much from all of them, either in a role of a coach or a mentor. I've just been privileged. I'm forever grateful to all the learnings that I have had from them. But learning is also a mindset. The moment you're willing to learn, open yourselves, embrace it, embrace those small insights. That mindset has helped me because I didn't come from a pedigree of an organization where I had that. It was always a pain point for me, and I didn't have that pedigree from a great institution. But these learning opportunities helped me catapult everything else that I didn't have. I think those were great. I would see the role of a mentor and a coach to be huge. Formally, in an organization like Shell, you have organizations that do this. People that provide this for you, formally and informally. And I've had great friends as well, Ramesh, who've been coaches, and they would always tell you, they would nudge you to the corner so that you can come up with your own decisions. So I would say it's a culmination of all of that support that has landed in here on how I see it. Having said that, I was too reluctant many a times. And then one good experience from one support that you receive opens your mind to say, hey, listen, that was a great insight. Maybe I should do more of that. I think that mindset, when you start to work with people who are in that guiding role, just makes you a better person, is how I come across with it.
Wonderful. Nice to hear that. So after such a long journey, here you are talking to me a CXO coach for further inspiration. Thank you so much, Sethu, for being with us. A lot of rich insights. I'm sure my audience would have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. Wish you all the best for BeWise.
Thank you.
For continued success. So, dear viewers, I'm sure you enjoyed this particular conversation. Please feel free to write in or call me for any consultative support. Thank you. Dear viewers, if you found value in this video, support us by clicking the like button, share it with your colleagues, and press the bell icon to subscribe to my channel. I eagerly await your thoughts on this video in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.